Hello everyone, Josh here with Excess Games, bringing you all another Awaken Castlery video, and today I'm going to be showing you the ultimate free-to-play guide, utilizing all the strategies that I've developed over the course of a few months from, CBT 3 to CBT 4 to, of course, now in soft launch, and really pushing the boundaries of what a free-to-play can actually do in this game when you utilize all those, of course, strategies. So it's going to be really fun. Hopefully you guys learn a lot from this video. It's going to be very educational. There's going to be a lot of things we're going to be going into detail on. So this might be a little bit of a longer video. Definitely feel free to pause, go do whatever you need to do, and then come back to it as you need to try and get as much information out of it as you can. Because again, this is going to be a very educational video for free-to-plays. It's going to be a lot of good, useful information, I hope. And hopefully it helps a lot of you out that want to play this game as a free-to-play. Even maybe a casual spender could get a really good kick out of this video. I don't know, but we're going to go ahead and go over it. Now, there's one thing I do need to say real quick. We are currently on episode 4 of our free-to-play series. As episode 5 will be coming out soon. The reason why there's been such a delay in episode 5 and why there's been a little bit of a shortage of uploaded videos is because I've been working very, very hard on getting this account ready to go to really showcase the power of free-to-play in this game and what you can actually accomplish when you put your mind to it and think logically, efficiently, and utilize your resources in a proper manner. So a lot of things are being tied in today's video. You'll see here my account is Excess Games. We're currently account level 26, almost 27. I've accomplished this in 6 days, technically 5. I made this account right before reset, so I do have an additional login day here, but I've only really played on this account for about 5 days. And I've already accomplished so much. I cannot wait to explore all the things we've done and how we did it, and hopefully it can help a lot of you out, as I said. This will probably be the account that we start using mostly going forward on the channel, as well as going forward on our free-to-play series. Episode 5 plus will be utilizing this account, as I said. Whatever account we use from 1 to 4, I've already scrapped it because it was really kind of just looking more like my main account that I was using previously, and not really the free-to-play that I really wanted it to be. So sorry about those changes if you've been watching the free-to-play series from episode 1 to 4, and this is going to be a big change for you. Hopefully you appreciate why I'm doing it. It's just simply because the account that I was making just felt like your traditional basic account. Like, I was utilizing the reroll process, I was using legendaries from the beginning, epics from the beginning, and that's not really what I wanted to do with this whole free-to-play series. I wanted to really showcase more of the elites and maybe even a couple units that are not elites. They're actually even lower tier than that, and what they could really accomplish in the game. So yes, we will be using legendaries and elites going forward, but I really want to showcase the elites right now. And I think I said elites twice. I meant epics and legendaries going forward, but I think you guys get the idea. Nonetheless, let's go into the actual guide of what's really going down here, what we've done. So as I said, we've been playing on this account particularly for 5 days, and you're probably wondering, holy crap, Josh, how did you get so many gems? Well, truth be told, I've actually probably made more than 7k gems in total, but I do utilize about 20 gems when I go here to the bartender, the shop, if you will. As you can see, we always go up to where it says it costs 40 and then we stop. We don't use the 40, we don't use the 80, or etc, etc. We do the free reset when we get it. Obviously, we'll go click him, we'll grab up all the charms and the glyphs that we can possibly get, because those are going to save you a lot of time in trying to farm those things up, especially the glyphs, because glyph drop rates are still pretty bad, especially early on when you can't get like to the very bottom on your list, because the lower you go, the better the drop rate. So obviously you're not going to have access to those lower ones for a while, thus the drop rates are going to be pretty bad for those specific glyphs, and it's going to cost you a lot of stamina. And again, this is all about being super efficient. So we want to buy those from the bartender, and every time we see it reset, we'll buy up the stuff we need, and then we'll reset it for 20 gems one time, and then we'll wait for it to free reset again, and then we'll rinse and repeat. So you're going to get a few resets a day, which allows you to have a possibility to getting some good gear that you might see pop up, especially when you get the mythic 1-1 and unlock shop level 5, which is the max, because then you can start getting your legendary glyphs, you can start getting 6-star gear that might be decent. There's a lot of value in utilizing the bartender you know, more than just the free reset. At least do the 20 gem reset. You're gonna get most of that back from doing your training in arena, because if we go to arena and you go to training, you see that we get these 5 matches for free every day. They refresh. That's 50 gems total, so you could get 2 shop refreshes for free every day. Essentially that costs 20, because that's only going to add up to 40. Another thing that you could possibly buy as well is if you go to the diamond shop, especially with the way that they've changed it now, for 30 gems right here, we're going to pick it up right now. For 30 gems you get 100 stamina. That's really good, considering that if you go up here it costs 50 to get 120. So, you know, it's 30 for 100. It's roughly around the same value, but maybe just slight, you know, maybe a little bit less than the 50 for 120. It's not much different, but hey, it is somewhat of a discount, and we are talking about efficiency here, ladies and gentlemen. So hey, it's not too bad. Pick it up if you want. Again, you can get that from doing your 5 trainings a day, which is going to be 50 gems. So you could do maybe 120 refresh from the shop and then buy that 30 from the diamond shop, and you're basically getting covered for the charges, if you will. So whatever you want to do, I still highly recommend doing it though, because those resources you get for 20 gems for the refresh from the shop is more valuable than doing 1 summon, in my opinion, unless you're in the pity. But you got to get 70 summons to hit pity. And speaking of summons here, you'll notice I have over 72 advanced crystals still and almost 6,800 gems, even after doing that every day for the past 5 days. Okay. The reason why is I have not had the need to summon. Yes, you've heard that correctly. I got the mythic 1/1 at least of story without doing any advanced summoning or using my gems for summons outside of the free daily and doing normal summons. What's really cool about the strategy that we're using here is it's very cheap but effective. If you look at my box, we currently have a bunch of elites being built up, and I'll tell you why each elite is being built up. There's a specific reason for every one of these units and why I'm deciding on these specific elites to run. So Zachary, obviously one of the better damage dealers of all the elites in the game. He's versatile. He has the ability to kill multiple enemies, especially with his trait, especially when you get a couple dupes in him. What's really nice is you get him from story for free at the beginning, and you get a free copy from coupon codes. So you're already going to have that plus 15% attack on his ascension, because you're going to get 1 free dupe of him right out of the gate. So you're going to already have 2-3 copies of him, no problem. Not too bad, right? Because you're going to get 1 for free from the story, 1 from codes, and then you're going to probably grab another one soon after from just doing your free daily summons or from doing your normal summons. So you're gonna, chances of you having at least 3 copies of this guy early on is pretty high. But even if you don't get that 3rd copy, you're still gonna get him with a dupe in him for the damage up already. So that in itself is still okay. He's providing you with AoE on his skill 3. He does quite a bit additional damage on his skill 2 because of the way it works. If you got a boss 50% or lower, or an enemy in particular 50% or lower, that's gonna do some really solid damage. And then his skill 1 gives him a free attack up for a turn as well, which is very good. Evelyn, we just needed a single target nuker. You know, obviously you're going to need that for certain stages, especially boss, for guild boss, stuff like that. So we went ahead and started building her up alongside Elson as well. And what's really cool is both these units have it built into their kit to where they have the possibility to attack multiple times in a single round. That's going to be very, very effective when we have to start doing like Bane's Wraith and stuff like that, where the boss puts up those shields until you've attacked multiple times to release it. Then you can start doing damage to farm up, you know, like your green elemental skill ups, and you're going to need those for certain characters later on. So obviously those 2 units are going to be very good for that. If I ever pick up a William in the future, which I hope I do, because he's again still probably top 5 character in the entire game for me, both those units will work off him very, very well, especially in like guild bosses. So that's going to be very effective going forward. And they're just both really good single target nukers. So we got Evelyn being built up. We're working on Elson slowly. Connor, best elite in the game. What else can we say? Probably one of the best, if not the best still in the game for healing, because he provides you with AoE healing, some big heals, probably one of the biggest heals in the game, because it heals 3 times based on attack. You can get his attack pretty decent. And his shields that it gives you with attack up on his skill 2 is also super good. And again, it also scales to attack as well. So his shields can be very, very, very meaty. Gonna be hard to break through some of his shields later in the game when you get this guy to 6-star and stack a lot of different gear on him. Now, I have a really good strategy for him as well that I'm going to be employing here on this account, and that is going to be Dragon Scale set with Guard set. We're going to make this guy super good in even off element stages. So there you guys go, a little quick tip there for you. We're running Celine as basically our mini Hydricia because she has basically an AoE on her skill 3 and a partial AoE on her skill 2. She's also a water-based unit, so we can't go all fire, because then if we run into stages that run a lot of blue, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So we definitely needed to run her. She also hits very hard on her ultimate for some reason. Her modifiers don't quite add up to the damage she's actually outputting, so I'm wondering if there's something incorrect in her description there or something, but she's hitting way harder than she should be. But whatever. Also, by the way, back to Evelyn, she's also got the highest base attack of any elite in the game as well. I believe her base attack is a grade of A, where everyone else is a B or lower. There might be another A in the elites, but I still think hers was still slightly higher than that, because of course there is levels to each grade. You could have a high A, a medium A, and a low A, which is borderline B, and etc. So you guys get the idea. Marion, we're going to be utilizing her on stages later on, like Witch of the Wind, because she allows you to have lifesteal, even though you can't heal there. Lifesteal is not considered healing for whatever reason, so you can still use lifesteal on a stage like Witch of the Wind. That'll be very useful. She'll also be very good for when we do like higher end Tulpa, and we need a little bit more of a top up than just Connor by himself, especially when Connor is off turn on doing his ult, and he can't do it for maybe a couple turns. She's going to be a bit of a lifesaver there. Kind of a backup plan, and she also has a constant defense down on her skill 1, which is going to also be extremely helpful and pair up well with units like Elson, Zachary, and of course Evelyn, who actually always crits on her ult if she's hitting a defense down target. So there's a lot of synergy there in the fire team for elites. Woo! And she also has really good stat distribution. I believe all of her stats are actually graded as a B, so that's also very helpful when you're trying to build her up a certain way. You'd make her faster, make her tankier, and maybe even make her a bit of a DPS if you want to really take advantage of her skill 3 and her lifesteal. And then we have Joseph. We've already talked about him recently, about how he's probably the best free-to-play PvP unit in the entire game because of how fast he can get. So that's going to be helpful for a free-to-play account going forward. He's also going to be very useful on Ash Magisteria for farming up speed gear, which of course he's going to be utilizing in other units will as well, especially if you're trying to build for PvP later on. The wolves, I'm going to keep those wolves kind of a hush-hush for now, because I have a video that I kind of want to talk about just for the wolves alone, for the ice wolf and the desert wolf. So we're going to save those for a separate video, because I have some things I want to talk about with them and why they're very underrated, but they're very, very good. Probably the best commons in the game, to be honest. So we're going to kind of leave that for later, and then everything else I'm just trying to work on building up another 6-star hero. You can already see I already got one with Zachary. We're slowly working on getting our second one. It'll probably be Connor, and then after that, I don't know. It's kind of a free-for-all after that, but we definitely got to make sure we start building up a nice, at least a good Tulpa team to get us access to some, higher end crit gear, because a lot of you, if you don't know, you should know now. The new patches that we got recently kind of screwed up getting gear from story. They took away the epic gear and they added gray gear. I don't know why they did that. It kind of hurt a lot of free-to-play players that were farming story for gear and mythic, so it's not as feasible anymore. So now you got to start getting some of your better gear from gear dungeons. So right now the way we're set up is we're set up best to be taking on Tulpa. And Tulpa won't be giving us much of what we need, but it does have the crit set gear, which I still feel 4-piece for 20% is still low. I think the percentage should be higher for crit for a 4-piece set, but whatever. We're going to be able to get access to that gear and HP and defense gear as well if we need to make another unit very tanky going forward. So it'll be at least something that we can use before we see what other units we're going to be introducing to the account. Again, we have a lot of summons saved up, so that's going to be helpful, and hopefully going forward and picking up maybe a couple good elites, or getting more dudes for our elites, or maybe even getting some epics, maybe even run into a couple dudes of a legendary. Who knows, because we do have Hydricia on the account from the rookie summons, but I don't know. We'll see what happens going forward. We'll be doing all that with our free-to-play series, so definitely make sure you check those out on episode 5 going forward. But again, let's get back to the guide. So you guys know now why we chose those specific units, why we're using them, why they're so cheap, why they're easy to get. On top of the fact that Zachary is free from the story, so is Evelyn, and so is Celine. You actually get all those units right out of the bat anyways without doing any summoning. You can get those all up to 5-star and start utilizing them through all of normal story. And another cool thing about story is a lot of the units that you have to fight in story are green. You got a lot of wood units that you have to fight. One of the first achievements you're going to get for kills is going to be like killing so many blah 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 of one element. Usually it's going to be green that you're going to hit that achievement on first, because you're just fighting so many green units. Especially if you're farming up the level 1 and level 2 glyphs, you're going to be fighting those units over and over and over again. So it's kind of convenient that the best elite team that you can build right now is fire. So it's very helpful, and it also doesn't hurt that Connor is the best unit that's an elite in the game. I would say second would probably be Mary, and he's also a fire. So it's very helpful, just kind of the way the things worked out, and it works out very well for us. And Connor, by the way, you can get a copy of Connor for free from Covenants. You can see right down here, you get Connor. Clear stage 3-4, not hard at all. And clear any stage in No Man's Land 3 times. Again, not hard at all. So you're going to be getting yourself a free copy of Connor. Super simple. So again, you can play this out pretty well without doing any summoning for quite a while. I mean, yeah, granted, it's only been 5 or 6 days here on this account, but it's the fact that we got all the way to, let's see here. Let's see how far we actually got so far in these 5 days. So we got the Mythic. We are on Mythic Chapter 3 without doing any of those summonings outside of just a free daily. That is awesome. And again, it's because if you go here to your normal summons have a 2% chance of dropping an elite hero. That's awesome, because that gives you more copies of your Zachary, your Connors. It gets you more copies of your Celines. It gets you more copies of your Evelyns, your Marians, your Elsons, whatever you're using. Another team that I really wanted to do was build the elite poison team. The problem with the elite poison team is it's not going to be able to handle waves very well at all. That's a big problem. So we couldn't exactly run that team. It would do very well on bosses, but it won't do anything on guild boss. For some reason, people seem to think that poison does good on guild bosses. It does not. Because of the way that the guild boss works, if we go here to the guild boss real quick, let me just jump in real fast, and then we can jump out, because I'm not really worried about the score on this account, because we didn't really build a guild boss team yet. Excuse me. But all right, so I didn't mean to click that. So let's take off auto for a second. So you see here how the boss has a health bar right now of 287. That 287 is very misleading, because if you actually go to the boss's real HP, it's 1,435,000. So people automatically assume, oh my god, if I run a poison team, I can come in here and I'm going to do 3% with Gangelo, because or I'm sorry, 6% with Gangelo, because it's going to obviously double the poison damage, which is 3% max HP. It'd go up to 6. They're like, oh my god, I'm going to do 6% of 1.4 million every time I do a tick. No. The problem is, I don't know why it's set up like this, but the problem is the boss's current HP bar, depending on what level chest you're on right now, which is also kind of being dictated by your points and your damage you're doing. It's all kind of tied in. The poison is only going to be going by each individual HP bar. So every time the HP bar goes up, the more the poison damage will do. The problem is, you're not going to be doing very much damage, and you're going to be taking multiple hits. So by the time your poison actually starts doing any kind of significant amount of damage, your team's probably more or less already dead, and your score is going to be terrible. So the poison team just does not work in guild boss unless they make that change to where you're actually fighting a boss that has 1.4 million HP right there and then, and not total with all of his various HP bars built up. So poison does not work in this situation. So if anybody's telling you to build a poison team for guild boss, they are sadly mistaken. And by the way, if you did not know, you of course can go ahead and back out of that, and it won't take up your try, as long as you do it before the all your units are dead and you get to the death screen. Whew. So there you guys go. That's another little tip for you. So far, I've told you guys what types of units you should be working on when you start a new account for elites. We've already talked about the progress that you can make in 5 to 6 days if you grind pretty hard. I've already told you about the shop trick where you go in and you spend 20 gems. Very helpful. Already told you that you don't have to spend resources right now on summoning. You can always summon if you'd like to, but I just thought it'd be more impressive if I actually showed you my results without doing summons. It's very, very impressive. I kind of impressed myself. I was like, wow, I can't believe I've actually gotten this far. I've pushed the boundaries here, as I said earlier in the video, as a free-to-play without even doing summoning. And conveniently enough, we have a summon event coming up soon, and we're going to make a video talking about that maybe as well, where you can actually utilize your normal summons, and you don't have to worry about using your advanced crystals for that if you don't want to, or you can use a mixture of both, because it should work just like it did in beta. And the reason why I say that is because all the other events have worked the same as they did in beta as well, just the rewards are a little bit different. Actually have been a lot worse, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Now, another tip that I need to tell you guys about is gear. Leveling up your gear is very, very hard early game. And you'll see here that we almost have a complete plus 15 legendary 5-star attack set. Now, this set you get from normal story. Normal story is so crucial to get through as fast as you can, because it's going to give you access to the best gear you're going to get for probably the first 2-3 weeks in the game. And the reason why I say that is because you get the legendary, you get the full legendary 5-star attack set, which you're going to put on your biggest DPS right now, which of course would be Zachary. Could be your Celine if you'd like. We also get the 5-star crit set that you can see that I'm using right now on my Celine. I've slowly been building up. But the biggest problem that you're going to have besides just gear, it's actually having the gear EXP. You're going to need a lot of charms. And outside of doing the shop with the 20 gem resets, like I told you, there are 2 other really strong ways to get your charms that I recommend you guys doing as much as you can, that we can start building up at least one solid set. And another good reason to get one full set to plus 15 is it gets you that much closer to getting a free copy of Zatlix, who by far is probably one of the best farmers in the entire game. And the fact that he's only epic, and if you pull him, you're going to get a dupe right there for free. It's very, very crucial to free-to-play to try and get Zatlix as best you can, either through your rookie summons by re-rolling, or just by getting lucky in your rookie summons, or getting him from a banner, from pulling him, or of course, you know, getting him this way. However you got to do it, get your Zatlix, because again, he's going to be one of your best farmers in the game. Especially when you need one for a lot of blue units that you're going to have to take on. He's going to be there for you. He's going to be good in guild boss. He's going to be good in gear dungeons. He's gonna be good in skill up dungeons. He's good in a lot of places. He's just a super well-rounded unit. So, you know, more free-to-play advice for you guys there. But anyways, we go to the dungeons, and there's 2 places right now that you can get charms at a pretty good pace, I would say. Not the best, but it's definitely more efficient than any other way I've seen so far, and that is Endless Trial. You can get them from Endless Trial. You get them for you know, fighting the different waves of enemies that you got to take on before you get to the actual floor boss, and then you'll get some from the floor boss, and then you get 3 floors of that. So I would recommend fighting as many enemies as you can. Don't always take the easy way out and go with the purse, or go with the gems, or go with the revival, because you don't always need that stuff. Plus, the more enemies you fight, the more buffs you're going to get, because you're going to have more access to more artifacts. So for trials, oh, and you also get more tokens as well, which you can use in the actual trial shop back at the bartender, which also gives you some nice stuff, including free dupes for epics. So I would definitely suggest using that as one strategy. We'll take a quick look here at the trial shop as well. You can see here, as I said, you can get a free dupe of epics, 3,000 right there. They also will have special charms as well. You got your 4-star pumpkins. You also got advanced summoning, and the meal coupons, ignore those because they have not adjusted the price of those like they did in the other shops for some reason. I don't know why. I guess you could also save up for this too, but I wouldn't really recommend this, because I believe last I checked, this is like a 90% chance to get an epic, only 10% to get a legendary. They might have bumped that up to 15% for a legendary. I don't know. In beta test 4, they said they were going to bump that up to maybe 15%. I don't know if they did it or not, but either or, that is a lot of coins to use to pull an epic that you don't want, whereas for 3k you can get a dupe for an epic that you're currently building up. So I would technically, as a free-to-play, recommend the Awakening Soul Arcana over the Ancient Summoning Crystal, but that's just me personally. Do with it as you will, but that's just my advice to you all. All right, so back to the dungeons. So No Man's Land, as you guys know, this is where you can go in and you can farm up your skill ups. You know, it's very helpful. I would recommend doing a lot of your skill ups on Sunday, whatever the Sunday is for you, depending what region you're in, because that's when all of them are opened up. That gives you a little bit of time to save up some stamina from meal coupons, and then you can go in and start farming those up pretty hard. Now you can farm them up on the day that their color is available if you'd like, that's fine. But on those days, I'm more, you know, interested in farming up glyphs and stuff like that. I kind of just like to do things in steps and not kind of be all over the place, because if you're all over the place, it's kind of like a psychotic thing. Like, you're just gonna start confusing yourself. You're gonna figure what you're working on. You're gonna end up working on more things than you should, and then you're just stretching your resources thin. So sometimes it's just good to kind of have like a game plan going in, and just, you know, kind of think about, okay, I'm gonna do this day, this the next day, and blah 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 blah. So it is, you know, that's just a personal thing. This, you know, you could farm how you want, obviously. But yeah, these are very good to obviously farm up, and I would try to go as far as you can before you actually can't farm it no more. That way you're getting all those first time clear rewards, and you're also getting those achievements, because those achievements are going to give you the achievement chest, and those are going to have a lot of good jelly in there. You're also going to get a free summon out of it. So it's nice to just kind of fill all that up as you're doing things. It's kind of like knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone, that if that saying rings any bells for you. But back to charms. Arcane Dominator. Speaking of first time clear rewards, doing the Arcane Dominator, getting as high as you can on each one of these gives you a first time clear reward, which includes charms. So the higher you get, the higher the tier charm you'll get. I believe when you start beating 8s and 9s onward, they start giving you a legendary charm for your first clear, I believe. Something like that. But yeah, you get a lot of charms from doing this. So as you can see, I went through and I did all of these as high as I possibly could. You could take in support heroes if you like as well, you know, some of your friends from either your guild, your friends list that you know within your community, or just randoms that you add that you can replace later on if you need to, because you got a slot for 50 friends. So make use of it. The support system is there. Use it as best you can. I would argue that the support system should actually be utilized in trials as well, because the recruits that you get are usually just garbage and they're not useful at all. So I don't know why the system's like that, but that's for another video. But yeah, use your supports and get as far as you can in the No Man's Lands and the Arcane Dominators, and make use of those first time clear rewards. They're very, very important, and they're going to give you a lot of charms, which is going to allow you to start putting up at least 1 solid set of gear that you're going to get from story. So there you guys go. You also have the Void Tower. You can try and get as far through that as you'd like as well. I stopped at 40. I could probably beat 40 now. I stopped like on the 2nd or 3rd day, just left it there for now. But you can also utilize that to pick up other various resources, like a little bit of jelly, a little bit of gold. You can also get summons from that. You can also get your limited summons. I believe I did 1 limited summon, and it was just a regular elite hero, which is fine, but it wasn't a dupe of what I needed. But you can also utilize this as well through the tower. Go in there and do a single summon here and there. Try and pick up something that you need from the banner. Hopefully you get it. Good luck to those of you who are trying to summon unlimited banner. Hopefully you did better than I did on my other account. As you guys saw in that video, that was terrible. Couldn't get William. One bit of advice I would give to those of you who are re-rolling in this game is I would re-roll for William. If you can get a William and a Zatlix in the same rookie summons, oh my god. But if you're gonna re-roll, I would not re-roll for a legendary. As weird as that sounds, in this game, the way the resources are very hard to get, and how hard it is to skill up legendaries, I would honestly recommend, and getting dupes as well, I would honestly recommend go ahead and grabbing a William from your rookie summons if you can, because that would be a start that would just transcend you into the future like no other, because the progression that William gives you is insane. Not to mention, you can utilize a trial shop to get dupes for him, or any events that we have that gives you free epic dupes. You can put all those into your William, get his trade up, and now you can run elite units with William, and now you're cooking. Like, William on my account right now would take this account to the next level because of what he can do with like units like Evelyn and Elson, even Zachary. There's a lot of crazy things that you can do with William. He's awesome. He's such a good unit. Again, he's a top 5. I know we shill out hard here on this channel for William, but it's deservedly so. He's so dang good. So there's you a little bit more advice as well, as you're free to play going in. Obviously, I didn't do any re-rolling for this account because I wanted to show you what elites only could do going forward. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say it wasn't difficult trying to get through hard mode of story. It was very difficult, but utilizing spells like stun and petrify, using the rage up on a unit like Connor with his shields early on. You are going to be very slow because a lot of the elites are slow. So there's going to be a lot of times where outside of Connor with a little bit of speed on his boots, a lot of units are going to get outsped. So Connor's going to come in clutch with those shields with the plus 50% spell on top of that, making his shields very, very beefy. So that's going to be very crucial, trying to get you through hard mode to getting you into mythic. And then when you're in mythic, then you could start popping your 2 times event, or I'm sorry, your 2 times items, and that'll give you more jelly. Then you can start building up more 5 stars, eventually get your first 6-star, which I recommend being Zachary or Connor. After that, I would say maybe Celine would be a good option too, because she's another AoE unit, and she's going to be a blue unit as well as a DPS, and you might need that going forward. You can't just be all fire all the time, even though fire is awesome. Everybody loves fire. It keeps you warm, it cooks your food, does a lot of things. It also causes destruction, and in this game, that's not a bad thing. You want to cause destruction. So there you guys go. Again, I think we've went over pretty much everything that I've actually done here. Obviously, we've been doing our PvP as best we can, doing our training. There's currently an arena event going on right now. There might not be when you watch this video, but currently there is. I would say that's pretty much it. It's not too complicated, guys. It's just a little bit of min-maxing, paying attention to what you're doing, not trying to stretch out your resources. Not trying to stretch out your resources, and kind of avoiding doing epics and legendaries very early. Now, you will want to jump into some epics and legendaries later down the road. Sure, they're there. You're going to get tired of staring at them. You're going to want to play with them. If you start pulling them, you're definitely going to want to use them, right? Because they're cool. They have some really cool skill sets, and some of them are very powerful, and you want to add them to your team. But just from the super free-to-play perspective of using elites or lower, they can get you to mythic story. And that's really the whole purpose of today's video, is to show people that are complaining, oh, I can't get to mythic if I only have elites. No, with the power of support units, with the power of these specific elites that you see that I've already built up at the very top there, you can get it done. And like I said, a lot of these units are very free to play friendly because you get them right from the start. The way to get them is not as bad either. You don't even have to use normal summons, ladies and gentlemen. You can literally go in here, go to your normal summons, and do a multi, and you might get lucky and you might pull an elite from this, and it might be an elite that you need a dupe of. Like, you can literally utilize a strategy. And what's really cool about these normal summons is, as long as you have stamina, which you will every day. And look at that, we just pulled a Marion dupe right there. You go, right on cue, right on cue. We just pulled a Marion dupe just like that. And guess what? We did not use a premium summon currency to do it. We use normal summon crystals that you can get from the bartender every day. You can get them from doing anything in story and gear dungeons and skill up dungeons, pretty much anywhere right now that's using normal stamina. You can grab those crystals and you could save up a whole bunch and then go in and do a bunch of summons, right? And then those summons will give you free elite dupes. And then you can feed them into your units here, like we're about to do with our Marion. And that's how you can build up your elites. And another good thing about elites, which I did forget to mention, is they only have to use stage 1 of the dungeons. Because if we go over here, I'll show you. We go over to, let's go to an elite that I don't have fully built up yet, which I believe might be Elson. I don't have his abilities done yet because I wasn't working on them at that time. You'll see here that they only use the normal element stone. They're not using the tier 2 or the tier 3s. They're not using the obsidians that like you would have to use with legendaries, which are a little bit harder to get outside the first time clears. So it's super cheap on stamina because those dungeons are cheaper. I would recommend doing stage 2 or stage 3 though to get those, because you actually get more on average from my testing, even though you're also getting the second tier as well, which you can use later on for epics. You're getting more of the smaller ones as well, and for the same stamina cost as stage 1. But the fact that you only have to do stage 1 is important here, because it's easy. Stage 1's nothing. You can do stage 1 in the first hour of playing this game, probably the first 30 minutes. It's that easy. And you're going to be able to skill up your characters quickly without having to worry about RNG, because you're always going to get those gems to drop every single time, which is very, very cool. And we've already briefly talked a little bit about the whole, doing your achievements here, because these achievements, as you can see, I'm already up to almost 1,600 prestige in 5 days of work, guys. That's crazy. I've grinded hard. I wanted to make sure I got this video out as soon as I could and showed you guys what I've been working on kind of in the background. People in the Discord kind of know I was already working on this, but a lot of you don't. So I wanted to share that with you because this is really good fundamentals to learn in this game going forward, because I don't know how many other things are going to change or take away, especially from the free-to-play standpoint. So I just wanted to show you guys you can play this game free-to-play. As much flack I give this game for what it does wrong and how I feel about the people that are running the game, at the end of the day, you can play this game free-to-play if you know what you're doing. Because if you couldn't, I wouldn't be playing it, I wouldn't be promoting it, and I sure as heck would not have videos on this game covering it. So there you guys go. I hope today's video was very, very helpful. I tried to go over a lot of information. There might be some things that I probably could still go over that I might have missed. Some other things I plan to do in individual videos. Like, we're gonna be talking about the summoning event in its own video. We already kind of briefly talked about what you could do with that, how you can use normal summons, but we'll make a separate video about that for people who don't want to watch this long video. And we're also gonna make a video about the 2 wolves and why I feel that they're the best commons in the game and how they could be very useful going forward, especially for speed farming. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. Everything else we've already discussed in other videos on the channel. Hope this video was very helpful. Hope you guys are impressed as I am with my progress of what I've done in, 5 days or so of work on a fresh account with no re-rolling, using, basically elite heroes. I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy. Again, all I did was utilize all the strategies that I've developed over, the past several months, and it's worked out well. The results were better than I could expect, and I hope that these results transition over to all of you as well. And even if you're a casual whale, if this video was helpful, awesome. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Let's try for 50 likes in today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, check notifications, and join us in the Discord in the description below. We're always theory crafting and coming up with some crazy good ideas for team builds and stuff like that, especially from a free-to-play perspective in the Discord. I respect whales, but I also love free-to-plays. I try to play on both sides to bring you guys the best content I can. So again, hopefully this was helpful. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at XSPlays, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.